What's up, you guys? First of all, we're sitting at 6,541 subscribers, which is just bonkers, so thank you so much for that. You guys are just friggin' incredible. Like, I can't even express how amazing you all are. But this vlog isn't about that. So most of the world saw that, that Stan Lee passed away yesterday. He was the mastermind and genius behind Marvel Comics, creator of Spider-Man, and really the grandmaster of all that is nerddom. I made a post on my social media pages, kind of in remembrance. I got to meet Stan Lee at San Diego Comic-Con back in 2011, I think. Don't hold me to that though, because I can never remember exactly what year Comic-Con that was. My cousin knew some people in the industry, and they were able to get us back to, and got to meet Stan Lee, and he was super nice, very humble and hilarious. He made fun of us because we both had Spawn t-shirts on, so he was cracking jokes about that and talking about Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn. I did the post on social media, but I wanted to like go into a little more about kind of like just Stan Lee and how that dude completely like changed my life. Like, I wouldn't have been able to make it through being a kid who had an illness without Stan Lee and the characters he created and the world he created. Whenever I was younger, I was teased all the time. I was teased, picked on, kind of tormented. I was always super small, having cystic fibrosis. You know, I couldn't really run with the rest of the kids. My mom kind of kept me in a bubble. So I always kind of wanted to be anyone but myself. My cousins, growing up, they were hardcore into comics, video games, and that's who I gravitated towards because they were much older than me, but they never treated me any different because I had CF. We just all connected over this mutual bond of comics and video games and kind of nerd culture. And my fondest memories as a kid are just the times that we'd spent like reading comics, or, you know, playing with action figures, or playing outside and pretending we were these characters. And most of these characters that I gravitated to, they were inventions by Stan Lee. If he didn't directly create these characters, he was responsible for their formation. He created the world in which those characters resided in. Probably my favorite comic characters out there are the X-Men. Like, I always connected with them whenever I was younger. You know, you had these mutants, and they were misunderstood, and everyone treated them differently, and everyone was mean to them because they were different than normal people. And that resonated with me so much as a kid that anytime that I would get picked on, or anytime I was down, you know, I would just kind of bury myself into these characters, into, you know, comics, into, you know, what have you. I mean, Wolverine and Gambit are right here on my arm. And pretty much any memory that I have to where kind of something went wrong in my life, or I was really sad, like, I always was able to turn towards comics and those worlds that Stan Lee had created. I mean, I can remember right off the top of my head whenever I was a little kid, I had a kitten, and the kitten got killed, and the only thing that like made me feel better was Dad ran to the grocery store and he bought me back a Spider-Man comic. And I can still remember, I don't remember the issue or the name, but I still remember it was Spider-Man gets shrunk small, and he's stuck like interacting with all these like toys and things like that. And like, that was just, they were always there for me. When people and like life weren't there, that's what I had to fall back on. And it's funny, I tell a lot of people this all the time, and they think it's absolutely ridiculous that a lot of the things that I learned in my life, to whereas the type of person I wanted to be, and a lot of my morals, they come from characters out of comic books, you know, these fictional characters. And, you know, people think that's crazy. Whenever you grow up wanting to be anyone except for yourself, being able to kind of take yourself and imagine yourself as these heroes, these superheroes, it just, I don't know, it gave me a confidence. Like, that whole culture and community, the nerd culture or community, if you will, like, they gave me a place to belong, and, you know, a place where I wasn't teased, where I wasn't made fun of. And Like that's, I mean, it still carries on to this day. Like I'm a huge nerd. I collect action figures. I love comics. Like still religiously watch Dragon Ball like all the time. Like I can't wait for the new movie to come out. Like I obviously know that's not Stan Lee, but just saying, like that just kind of opened the whole door to everything like in that. And people look down on it all the time, like people playing Dungeons and Dragons and just all this nerdy stuff, but it's just like, it's a community. It's like this sense of belonging that you find when you share common interests with these people. And especially if you grow up sick or you grow up different, they're not gonna shun you, because most of the people who gravitate to that culture are, you know, they are different. They didn't have a place to belong, and you find that. So I was 100% the kid at the nerd table, and I still am and will forever be. And I know there's a lot of other people with cystic fibrosis who can relate as well. It kind of found their way through his creations the same way I did. So it's definitely a sad time with Stan passing, but you know, he left a legacy that people can only dream of, and he has helped and will continue to help long after all of us are gone. Will continue to help, you know, the kids who feel like they don't belong find a place. And so, you know, I owe so much to Stan Lee. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like it may sound weird to other people, just like, oh, this guy just made comic books. Got me through my life, basically. Stan Lee and his creation showed me that it's okay to be different. Like you can still make a difference and you can still matter, even if you're different from everybody else, and even if everybody else wants to talk down to you. That you don't have to go with the mold. Just because you don't fit in with what society wants you to be doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Go and be your own hero, as corny as that sounds. So I mean, I'll forever be grateful to Stan Lee. He shaped my whole life, basically. He helped a kid who, when he was growing up and felt like he didn't have anyone or anywhere that he belonged, he helped me find my place in the world. Stan, wherever you are, my friend, I'll forever treasure meeting you at Comic-Con. You were amazing. First time that I've probably legitimately been starstruck. Send your thoughts and good vibes out to his family during this time. Thank you so much, Stan, for everything. Excelsior.